Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard. We are here for Beard on King, and this is episode 10. And I've gone back into the Bachman books by Stephen King, Richard Bachman, and this we're going to talk about the novel The Running Man. So I like this. I think I liked it probably a bit less on reread. I did the audio of this. I would say I'm probably around 3 stars on The Running Man. It's a cool dystopian story, but I think that some of it for me had been polluted by the movie, the film with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, if you've seen that, if you haven't read this and you've seen that film, forget 95% of what you know about this story from that. It's not as wild and overly produced and like crazy silly hunters and hockey games and shit like that. It's more a man is put on the run, and the thing is there are hunters after him. I mean, he can go anywhere he wants, and try to stay out of sight. But with the state of the country as it is, or the state of the world as it is, the poverty and the starvation and the poor air quality and all these things, everyone's against him, and you feel that more in the book than you do in the film. I think. I mean, everyone is against him. Everyone is out to get him. It's taking a common man and putting him on the run, and thus. All the other common folk are after him, because if they capture him, if they kill him, if they find him, if they have useful information about him, they get rewards. Now, I think I already said this, but I like the book way better than the film. I mean, our main characters, what's his name again? Richard, right? Is it Richard? Hold on, I had it right here. Richards, Ben Richards. Sorry. His motivations for doing this, I like them in the book, and I'm not going to say. I'm going to try not to say anything else about the film, and then when I do the film, we can talk about the differences. But he's out of work, broke. His daughter is really sick and needs medicine, and they have no money for it. His wife is turning tricks to bring in some money into the house, and so he goes to this games network and applies to be put on one of these games. And there's I would say that is that intro part where we are kind of talking about the games network and all the different opportunities, options that there are there. There's one about like a treadmill, to cash or something like that. I would say that is the most futuristic feel of this, whereas the film, again, I said I wasn't going to say this, but whereas the film is like super futuristic and whatnot. But Ben Richards definitely has a more punch you in the heart type of motivation to do what he's doing, and so he's put on the run. The hunters are just hunters; they're not these characters like they are in the film, and he's trying to stay out of sight, trying to stay on the move. And that's really the bulk of the story. It's got that real dystopian game type feel. Of course, the Hunger Games. For me, of course, I thought a lot about The Most Dangerous Game, which I'm blanking on the author, but I know I read it as like a 7th or 8th grader, and at the time, I haven't reread it in a while, but at the time, that story blew me away. Like I loved that story when I was young. So it had that feel, and of course it also has that a bit of a feel of similarity to The Long Walk, which is another story in the Bachman books. But this was originally published in 1982. And then collected in the Bachman books in '85. It says it's a dystopian thriller novel by Stephen King, first published as Richard Bachman. Let's see here. The novel set in dystopian United States during the year 2025. Of course, I found that kind of cool, reading it again in 2021, whereas the first time I probably read it was in the 90s, so reading it in 2021 when the book is set in 2025, I guess it kind of hit a little closer to home. But the nation's economy is in ruins, and world violence is rising. The story follows Ben Richards as he participates in the reality show The Running Man, in which contestants are allowed to go anywhere in the world, and they're chased by the general public, who get a huge bounty if they kill them. The book has so I love this part of this is one thing I did love about the book. The book has a total of 101 chapters, laid out in a countdown format. The first is -100 and counting, and the numbers decrease. So there's this overwhelming sense of coming doom, as we count down, -100, -99, -98. I did enjoy that format and the setup of it. So a man's on the run, trying to better the situation for his family. And what I can say is there were some relationships along the way that I dug. Some people that stepped up to help him out. I really enjoyed a few of the characters along the way that were in those types of situations, and then the ending. I liked. Don't get me wrong. This is an ending that it's a kind of a line in the sand type of ending. You either love it or you'll hate it. But I liked the ending of this. I liked. It's a bleak ending, I will say that. I like the ending of it. I liked the final chapter, the minus, or I don't know if it's -000 or if it's just 000. But let me tell you real quick. So the very last chapter in this book, it's just 000. Time has run out, and there's maybe 3 sentences here. That is the end of this book, and I really, really dug that. I dug the ending. I dug the way Bachman left us and King left us. Now, in the audio book, there's a preface, a prologue, whatever, the importance of being Bachman or whatever. It's Stephen King talking about Richard Bachman and how he was really upset when people figured out it was him. He at least that's the way it reads. He hated it. Like he felt that he needed Bachman. He planned on using Bachman throughout his career, and he felt that it just kind of sucked that all came to light. I don't know. I wasn't really paying close attention in 1982 when this came out. I was only 6 years old, but I don't know if how it all came out, or if it wasn't like maybe protected closely enough or whatever. But what I'll say is, Richard Bachman's kind of, I guess, kind of billed as being like the alternative, the darker, he's this farmer that writes or whatever, but the darker Stephen King, I guess the more willing to give us bleak endings and even go next level on the things he'll do to his characters and things like that. I don't know. I've read The Running Man now, and I'm probably about halfway through Roadwork. Again, these are all 4 of them are going to be rereads, and I'll probably do the 3 of them on audio, and I'll have to actually physically read Rage, because I don't know that there's an audio recording of Rage out there anywhere where it's been pulled because of school shootings or whatever. But there is a lot of racist elements in these 2 stories, and it's the 80s. It's it's a pen name. It's I guess part of the story may be necessary to advancing the story, but I will say that some cringy moments with some of that racism stuff. Jesus Christ, this isn't fucking Huck Finn here, I know Stephen King's not the only one to do it, but I feel that I have to mention that, and there's quite a bit of it in The Running Man, and there's been quite a bit of it in Roadwork so far. Just in words, but other stuff, and but again, dystopian novel, man, part of a live action streaming game for his life to try to make money for his family. And one more thing before I go, there's this element of he always has to send in these little like video clips of like messages, like every so often, like once every 24 hours or whatever. He's always concerned about that because the postmarks, right, would reveal where he was or whatever. But the way he uses that to send messages and maybe turn people to his side, because the government shit, right, and the environment shit, and they're basically poisoning everyone with the air, and it goes deep into the idea that it would cost like $6 a piece to make these nose filters that would make everything better for the general public, and they just chose not to. I don't know, some of that stuff with the air quality, the nose filters, we're all walking around wearing masks now. Some of that kind of hit a bit close too, but it's a cool story. I just didn't love it, and so I'm probably at 3 stars. It's The Running Man. It's Stephen King, Richard Bachman, the Bachman books. Well-read beard. This has been Beard on King. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.